Tonight, our memo is about brutality, which has been meted out and experienced in various forms through different strokes by different people, outfits and institutions. In some parts of the country, the National Police Service has been reduced to an outfit of disservice, reversing some of the gains in and efforts of transitioning it from a police force to a service. Some of the brutality that has been witnessed being pronounced upon Wananchi is unacceptable and inhumane. Some were absolutely innocent, but in their plight to promote their livelihoods from one level to the next, they ended up being promoted to glory in one of the most inglorious ways. And to be clear, this is not about condoning hooliganism, thuggery, and all other senseless acts that have recently been camouflaged as protests by demonstrators. This is about human rights, which are protected by the law. The same law everyone seems to be talking about and only abiding by when it fits their bill. There are people who are out to protest against the high cost of living occasioned by the Finance Act of 2023. But among them and accompanying them are goons, rogue people who are out on selfish, heartless missions, and some not on their own violation. They are on assignment. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, when you say to your followers, and I quote, "However much you feel provoked, don't harm any policeman. Leave it to them to harm you. The world is watching," end quote. Does that sit well with you in light of the sensitivities expected of a leader of your caliber at a time when such instances have left families bereaved? The executive, right from the president, has been consistent in praising the police brutality as a whole, not drawing from the human sensibilities of condemning the excesses we've seen, which have led to an uncalled loss of life. Why? It has morphed into more of a political battle, and the vulnerable people who are in a survival battle are the battlefields, with many being turned from human beings to human shields. Let it not be lost to anyone, not even the inhuman politicians and their goons, that the most common thread in the frustrations that Kenyans are facing is not the credibility of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. It is not about election servers. It's not about who has a large following. This is real life, not Twitter or X, if you may. It is about the cost of living and how tough it is to get by for the majority. People are sleeping hungry. Their businesses are not breaking even, but are being broken by the forces keeping them at rock bottom. The brutality we're addressing here is also in how the law is being desecrated. How do you explain the case of the arrest of blogger and government critic Pauline Njoroge and two others, followed by what now are coming clear to be trumped-up charges, then no case to pursue in court? Why are our police officers being used for such errands, yet we have real needs for security and investigations in this country? Why are Kenyans' collective intelligence being insulted with such brazenness? Why are we still debating on whether the police is indeed independent? As we speak of the brutalizing cost of living, it is only right to call out the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, who claimed that the challenges that Kenyans are going through have nothing to do with him. Well, Mr. Kenyatta, allow us to jog your memory. The International Monetary Fund program that the country is currently under, which is driving a bulk of the tax measures that many have decried to be burdensome and punitive, was entered into by your government in March 2021. Further, the $2 billion Eurobond, which matures in June 2024, which has created significant pressure on the exchequer, was your government's borrowing. It was borrowed in June 2014. You surely cannot absolve yourself from this and accuse a government that is less than a year old in office for all the pressures. Respectfully, do not brutalize the truth, Mr. Fourth President. But as we have said, the brutalizing of the law and of the public peace and reason is unsettling, and more so because it is spiraling into a political war and using the issues of Wananchi as the rising upon which the big shots will fight. Again, political battles are not a priority that Kenyans should be expending energy on. They're already being brutalized by protesters come goons, rogue police officers, toxic politicians, unfulfilled promises, and an unbearable cost of living. President William Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, you all clearly have some deep-seated issues that need to be addressed. We propose that you, within all reason, keep the blood and lives of Kenyans out of it. Stop dragging them into your backroom battles. The economy is already dragging them through some rough roads. So maybe you should get some space, settle your scores privately and without misusing public resources, then share a report. Meanwhile, let Kenyans continue battling to stay alive and not each other.